welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and I've decided we're going to do Fillomino for a change today. I've resisted the temptation, the hunger pangs that are very apparent to me about Fistomafel's Araf Sudoku, which is sitting there on Logic Masters Germany, tempting me. But we're going to do Fillomino, and one of the reasons I've decided to do this is I want to showcase another of the puzzles created on our Discord server last month as part of this monthly puzzle prompt sort of effort. And Freddie Hand's Poker Fillomino has been incredibly well received there, and I want to have a go at that. Now, Freddie is actually an interesting subject of one of the most impressive anecdotes I've ever heard about puzzle solving as well. And I don't think this story is apocryphal because it was relayed to me by none other than David McNeil, who's been he's been the UK's best puzzle stroke Sudoku solver for, forever, basically. So, for those of you who don't know, the way that national teams are selected in the world of Sudoku and puzzles is typically via online competitions where puzzles are released onto the internet and you download the puzzles, a clock starts, and you basically have something like 90 minutes to solve as many as you can. And a couple of years ago, a young guy by the name of Freddie Hand suddenly basically scored well enough to qualify for the UK team in the World Puzzle Championship. And it was only later, when David first met Freddie, that Freddie revealed that he achieved this feat despite, get this, not having a printer. So not only did Freddie have to solve all the puzzles incredibly quickly, he also had to actually write the puzzles down. They were on his computer screen, but if you've ever tried to solve on a computer screen, from just a picture, that's very, very difficult. So Freddie had to transpose all the puzzles onto paper before he could solve them. Now this is, this is quite crazy, frankly. And the too long didn't read version of this story is that Freddie Hand is very, very clever. Now the other puzzle that I thought we'd start with today is the one on screen. Now this is by Murat Can Tonta from Turkey, another extremely brilliant person, one of the world's best puzzle makers. And this puzzle was published this week on gmpuzzles.com, and it's got some very nice comments. And the suggested timestamps for completing this puzzle suggest that it's quite doable. So I think we'll do this as a sort of reminder for how Philomino works, and then we'll move on to Freddie's puzzle, which I imagine will be quite difficult. So the other thing I want to mention, though, is before we get onto the rules of Philomino, is our monthly reward puzzle for August, and that was released yesterday, and it's a puzzle hunt. It's a whole puzzle hunt created by Joke van Veenendaal, and we've already had about 50 correct solutions. It's absolutely unbelievable, and all of them have been incredibly complimentary, and I know how much you've all enjoyed it, so that is absolutely brilliant. If you're not a patron of the channel, do consider it. We do put a lot of extra content over there, and yeah, this month's bonus content is going down very well. Now, how do you play Philomino? Well, it has the most simple rule set, as with many of the great puzzles. Let me put up an example puzzle there on the screen and read the rules. We have to divide the grid along the dotted lines into regions called polyominoes, such that no two polyominoes with the same area share an edge. And inside some cells are numbers, and each number must represent the area of the polyomino it belongs to. A polyomino may consist of 0, 1 or more of the given numbers. It is possible for there to be a hidden polyomino, i.e. a polyomino without any of the given numbers. And basically, so I don't know if there's going to be one in this example puzzle. We'll have a look at it and stare at it and see. But if we're trying to understand how the puzzle works, all of those words make it sound far, far more complicated than it actually is. If you look at the solution grid here, you can see basically the grid has been divided into regions, and each of these given numbers at the start has to be in a region of its size. So the 6s here, you can see they combine into a region of size 6. The 3s have to be in a region of size 3, and the only other constraint is that you can't connect two regions of the same size orthogonally. So you can see here that the 3s are kept apart. They can touch each other diagonally at a corner, so they can see these two regions touch each other at a corner, but not orthogonally. And that's the key thing. So that's how the puzzle works. Let me go back to finding, is it this one? Yes, this is it. Now, let me read the timestamps as well, because some of you are interested in this. If you are a grandmaster speed puzzle solver, so if you are sort of one of the very, very top solvers in the world, this puzzle should take you 3 minutes 30 seconds. If you are still a very, very good, probably nationally ranked puzzle solver, it takes you 7.5 minutes. If you are an expert puzzle solver, I'm not sure what that means, but it means you're pretty damn good at puzzles, then it should take you 15 minutes. So this is probably not actually that straightforward. But anyway, let's have a look at it and see how we go. If you want to play the puzzles, as usual, click on the link under the video. With that, let's get cracking. So let's start with the ones. We can just draw immediately some boundaries around the ones. They have to be in region of size 1. That's how I know that. Oh, these 2's in the bottom left, they're important because look, I can't put a 2 here. If this one goes upwards, then we'd create a 2 region of size 3, which breaches the rules immediately. So we can sort of wall off these 2's, and the only way these 2's can now go is like this, look, and like that. This 6, I don't like these cursors in this software. This 6, obviously it can't get out via the 3, so it's going to have to come out here. And if we study this bottom left-hand part of the grid, you can see there are actually only 5 positions for the 6. Even if we include this cell and this cell, we'd only get to 5 cells labelled 6. We need to go at least 1 further. This 2 is a bit hemmed in. Oh, this 2 is very hemmed in. Where can it go? It can't go left, it can't go down, and it can't go up, or it would create a region of size 3, so it must go right. This 2 can't go downwards. Okay. Now, what do we look for next? One thing we can look at is this 3, look. Now, if this 3 goes upwards, it would complete its region. But that doesn't work, because this region is now of size 1, and it's orthogonally next to another region of size 1. So actually that is definitely not what happens here. This cannot go up. It can only take 1 square to the left. So it's locked in, look. It's got to take that square, and there's only 1 more square it can take, and it must take it in order to get to the right size. So this 3 now doesn't go downwards. This 4 is now a little bit penned in. It can take this square, but then it simply has to take this square. So it must take that square. It's boxing in this 3 now, look. Now this 4 is similar. This 4 could take this square and this square, but that would only make it of size 3. So it definitely, whatever happens, it has to take that square. So we can move that up. That pens this 3 in. And now I'm interested actually in this square. Because I can see, look, if this 3 comes this way, this 3 is now broken. It cannot move. It can't take any extra square without connecting it to another region of size 3. So I know this 3 here doesn't turn right, so I'm going to wall it off. Now, so this cell here has to be part of a different... another way of looking at this is now we can think about this square. Where can this square go? Now it can take this square, that's 1, well 2 if we include this one. So if it takes this square, it reaches size 2. Now where does it go now? It can't go down because of this 3, and it can't go another square left, and it can't go here. So however this 3 develops, it simply has to always take this square. So let's take it up there and see what that means, if anything. That bounds... now, this square. This is very interesting now. This square has suddenly become pivotal, I think, because what are we going to put in this square? We know it's not a 3, and we know it can't be a 1. And it can't be a 2, because if it was a 2, the 2 region that we tried to put in here would have to come down, and it would connect to this region. And that doesn't work. So this region is not of size 1, 2 or 3, and it has to come here. Oh, this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. Look at how this works now. So now by this region, whatever its size it is, takes this square. So now this 3 can't come down, obviously. We can hem this in. This 3 must go up. So this 3 is now finished. Now let's have a look. We now know this 3 has to take one of these 3 squares. And therefore this 4 has to push downwards into this square. And now this region we're developing here, which can't be a 1, 2 or 3 region, well, it can't be a 4 region either. So it must be at least 5, so it's got to carry on down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 4 is now hemmed in, so that goes up there. The 3 must take another digit. This 5 must come this way. And we are getting some progress. Now, this 5 is interesting to me. Look, 1, 2, 3. And whichever one of these squares it takes, you can see that square is orthogonally connected to this square. So this 5 is the final piece of this region. And therefore, we can wall off its right side and its bottom side. This 2 is fixed, it can only come right. Okay, and now we're stuck again, or I'm stuck again. The 5. This 5 though. This 5 can't come up, so wall it off. It could take this square, but it definitely has to come down. 1, 2, 3. Now there's again, Murat is such a brilliant setter. He really is. These ideas they flow when you're solving his puzzles. Now, look at this 5 region. Let's think about how it moves. If it doesn't take this square, the only way of it becoming a region of size 5 is if it takes that square and that square. But look, this 6 is now broken. It can only take one square. It can never get to this 6 or this 6. That's not right, therefore. So we can come back to this position, and we know this 5 must take this square. Now, if it takes this square, it becomes, yep, a region of size 5. So, now that means this 5 can't go upwards. And now, hang on a minute, I'm a little bit stuck, so I'm going to have to think about this now. This 3 can't attach to this square, so let's wall that off and see if that tells us anything. This 4 can't take all 4 of these, or can't take these 3 white squares, otherwise the 2 can't be complete. So the 4 must extend 1 further. This 3... okay, so we get to this position. Oh, well, this 5. This 5, how many cells does it see? It sees 6, so this is seriously hemmed in. Let's see if we can... Yes, look, we can hem it in further. We can use this 3 to hem it in further. Because what I was wondering is whether I could force this 6 to take this square. And I can. Because if this 6 doesn't poke out one more square... Oh dear. If it doesn't come to this square, you can see it would have to take those squares. This region is now size 6. This 3 can only exist by doing that. And that isolates this square as a 1-cell unit, which will clash. So that is not correct. This 6 pokes out one square, and now this 5, well, it's only got 5 squares it can see, so it must see all of them. Those cells get taken. This 4 has to be finished. This 2 has to be finished. This 3 has to come up. This 6 has to come up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it has to go up again. So it can't go up a third time, otherwise this region of size 6 would become a region of size 7. Now, so this 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this 3 can't take both of these squares, so it must come up one square. And we know it can't come up a second square, or that creates the 1 region. So the 3 is fixed, actually. I should have figured that out immediately. Oh, yeah, now think about this square. Look, this square sees a 1 and a 2, so it must be at least a 3 size a region of size 3. If it's a region of size 3, it's going to connect to this region, so it can't be. It's got to be greater than a size 3, which connects it to this one. So this is all one region. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a size 8 region. Let's put all that in. That one can't take that square. Now, how do we finish this off? We've got let me look at this. We've got an awful lot of quite big space or quite big clues here to finish this off, haven't we? That's suspicious. I'm wondering if we can we conclude this 6 and this 6, if they are not in the same region. See, that 6 has to be walled off there as well. So has this 6 even got 6 spaces it could take? Given that this is a size 4, this 4 region needs 1 square, this 5 region needs 1 square, and that leaves 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no way this 6 doesn't connect to this, because the only way it could even begin to contemplate that would be to do this. And now it mustn't touch it, so it would have to do that. And now you can see, although it has managed to get to size 6 without touching this one now can't move at all. So actually, look, we can say that this 6 and this 6 are connected. So they are connected. This 5 region, it's going to have to sit at the top of the grid somehow. This 6, is it possible this 6 doesn't connect with these 2 squares? So if that was the situation, how does that look? 1, 2, that doesn't work. We can't do this because that's going to isolate the 8. Look, how do we get this 6 up to size 6? 1, it could try to take that one. 2, it can't take this square. It could take this square. But look, its next square has to be in column 10. And the moment it takes either this square or this square, this 8 is broken. So actually, we know that this 6 and these 6s are all part of the same region. So we can place that one. 1, 2, 3. We don't quite know how that connection works. But this 8, we should bring this 8 out actually. We can bring it out there. Oh, now look what's happened. Now look what's happened. This has become so congested. So we've got to put... We know this 6 creates a wall, effectively. I mean, even if the wall... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The maximum number it could have... This square could lend itself to this 7, 8, 9 and 3 clue, but that's it from the top part of the grid. So effectively what we've got here is we have to make sure that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 26, 27. So those 27 cells have to be made up of 1 from the 6, 1 from the 3, 7, 8 and 9 is 24. So that means I think this square is actually not, or it could be that one, I suppose. One of these two squares is not in this region. But the critical thing I think I've picked up from that is that it's not possible to put any other big size region in this bottom part of the grid. There just isn't enough. There just isn't enough space. So it's not possible, for example, for these 7s not to be connected to each other. It's not possible for these 8s not to be connected to each other. And therefore, this 9 is properly hemmed in. The 8 has to come across here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it can't take both of those. So the 9 has to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 9 only has 9 spaces. The 9 must do this. It must do this because it's the only way you can fit it in and complete this 3 clue. So the 7 goes upwards. The 6, we don't yet know if the 6 pokes back or not. The 8 must go to here. The 7 must continue up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 8 is now forced. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's an 8. We don't know whether this 5... That could be a size 2 region. The 7 has to go again though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So even if it takes this square, it must take this square. The 6 is now forced to come across here. Oh, it's just beautiful. That bounds the 6, bounds the 4. The 3 is finished. Whoa, the 3 is finished. The 7 is now forced. And we're left here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got to avoid this 5 region and this 5 region connecting. So you can see if this 4 goes upwards, that happens, and now these 5 regions are connected. That is not right. So the 4, in order to prevent that, this 4 has to turn. That allows the 5 to take that square. It allows us to plonk a 1 here, look. There, and I think, yeah, there you go. That's how to solve the puzzle. Brilliant puzzle. That took a while, but not easy. Not easy for sure, but very enjoyable. Now let's move on to Freddie's puzzle. Let me just find it 1 second. Okay, so here it is. Slightly different software because we needed to put the dotted lines in, and as with yesterday's Sudoku puzzle, that's because these dotted lines are, yes, you've guessed it, they are poker hands. So let me read the rules for Freddie's puzzle. We've got standard Fillomino rules. In addition, the number in the cages must form these hands in any order: 4 of a kind, straight, full house, 3 of a kind, 1 pair, 1 pair. Use the conversion 1 equals ace, 11 equals jack, 12 equals queen, 13 equals king. Right, so we have got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 6 hands, and 6 poker hands to have to find. Right, have a go at this one. I've no idea how to do this. Let's have a look and see what we can see. So. Right, well the first thing I'm seeing is that this is hard because there's not actually... Okay, there's really nothing to go on here. There's no giveaway clues. Right, I tell you what I'm going to do here. This is suspicious to me. If we have a look at this grid, there are a lot of different numbers in it. In particular, we've got 13, a 12, an 11, a 10, a 9, an 8, a 7. Now this 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, this 7 and this 7 are not part of the same region. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, I'm going to do some maths on this because this as I say, I'm suspicious. There are so many big clues here that how do we fill a 10 by 10 grid? That's got 100 cells in it. So we know we've got a 13, a 12, that's 25, 11. Can this 11 connect to this 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These could connect with each other. So this could be a single region, or it could be two 11s. So we've got 25 plus 11 is 36, 46, 55, 63, 63, 70, 77, because these 7s are not connected. These 6s aren't connected either. So 77 plus another 12 is 89. There's no 5. There's a 1, 4. So that's 93. These 2s are not connected. There are no 3s. So 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. There are 98 cells already accounted for in this puzzle. So this is interesting, because now we know that there's only 2 degrees of freedom. There could be 2 1 regions that are unlabeled, or 1 2 region that is unlabeled, but everything else is as it's presented here. So we know this 11 connects to this 11. Now that looks like it's so. And you can see it's very difficult to make this 11 connect to this. It's got, in the sense that it's got no light. It can't sort of do a wandering path. It's got to try and get here fairly directly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12. So in fact it can't even come up past the 7. We've got to go through this barrier here, under this, or on top of the 7 there. I don't think I can do better than that. But the 13... I tell you what I can do, though. The 13 is interesting now, because if the 11 is connecting this cell to this cell somehow, the 13 can't come this way to connect to this 13, and we know they connect. So the 13... I put that one in the corner. That might not be right. Hang on. Let me delete that. Go away. How do I get rid of you? Like that. So I don't know whether this square is in. This could just be a 1 on its own, but this 13 must be in, because this square must be in, this square must be in. So the 13 is going to loop round and then come and visit its friend here. And this poker hand, look, this could be lots of different things. I suppose if this is a 1, it could even be the 3 of the kind, but it still could be 3 of a kind, full house, or 4 of a kind. Okay. That felt like it was the break-in, but I'm actually not seeing how to take that logic any further at all. What are the poker hands? Sorry, hopefully they'll be on the side of your screen, but I've only got them written down on the side. I've got to make 4 of a kind, straight, full house, 3 of a kind, 1 pair, 1 pair. So straight is going to be... okay. So straight must be important, mustn't it? Because if I think about it, and I'm only just thinking about it now, but that means I've got to put 5 different numbers in one of these dotted cages. Now, hang on. There's no 5 in this puzzle as a given clue, and we've only got 2 degrees of freedom. So we can't have a low starting straight because there cannot be a hidden 5 in this puzzle. So we've got to start with at least a 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 12, 11, 9, 10. So whichever way we go, whether we start with 6 or start with 13, 9 and 10 are always in the straight. And therefore this 9 and this 10 are in the straight. Now, but we don't know whether it's 11, 12, 13 or 6, 7, 8 that joins it, or some permutation of that. We only know that 9 and 10 have to be in. So let me think about this. So if 13 was in, I mean 13 just can't be in. I don't see any way of connecting this to this. I mean, unless 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I suppose it could dip down and hit this one. Okay, so I don't want... I need to be able to limit what's in this straight. How do we do that? Sorry about this. I'm sure that some of you are spotting this instantly, but I am not. And I know that because all of the numbers in the straight are given numbers in the grid, I've got to only use these numbers. Of course, the 11 is a problem. It's the 11, not the 13 that's the problem. Yeah, this is lovely. This is a lovely idea. So the only way that the straight can include the number 11, because this 11 has to go so directly between these two squares, is if it's this cage that forms the straight. But if this cage forms the straight, I have to get the 9 over to it. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It gets nowhere near. So actually we know what the straight is. It's got to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's 5. That's 5. And that's exactly the 5 we're allowed to use. So this, is it this one? Oh, no, it's probably not actually, because the 7 can't get to this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it doesn't. This 7 doesn't get to this. So it's not this one. It's not this one because that contains an 11. So it's one of these two. Oh, this is beautiful. This 6. This 6 has to be part of the straight because this 6 can't reach either of these two hands. And if this 6 is part of the straight, this 6 can't reach that one, can it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it doesn't get there. So it's this one, exactly this one, that is the straight. And this run has to contain a 10, a 9, an 8, a 7, and a 6. 7... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it could be this 7 or this 7. But how does this happen? How do we get the 10 and the 9 into this region of the grid? Because they can't both. Oh, I think I'm starting to be able to visualize this. If this, what is this square, I suppose, is the best way of asking the question. What number is in this square in the straight? Now, if it's 9, so this square is connected to this square, this 10 just can't get to the straight because it would have to loop right over the top of the grid. I'm presuming that's impossible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, it never gets back down again. So the 9 is not in this square. If the 8 is in this square, 10 and 9 have to come through this gate to get to the straight. Well, they can't both come through this gate created by the 8 and the 12. So obviously this square is not 8. If it's 7, everything breaks. I hope that's pretty obvious. Both 10 and 9 have to come through the gate. That doesn't work. 6 can't get there. So this square is 10. Now, how does the 9 get into the straight? It's got to come through the gate, presumably. So the 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Beautiful. The 9 can only just get there. So the 9 does this. This must be the 8. It's the only way of connecting the 8 into the hand now, into the dotted area. So the 8 comes to here. 1, 2. So the 10 must come this way in order to connect to its friend. That extends the 8 again. The 10 must come this way. That extends the 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I told you Freddie Hand was a clever guy. This is just brilliant, isn't it? It is so clever. Now, I'm actually wondering about this 12 now, because this 12 has got to get to 12, right? If it comes all the way this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it has to come through this gap. Oh, no, I can't. No, that's no good. I don't want the 12 in this square. I need this 12 to sit beneath this hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it can only just do it. So the 12 must take every single cell in this pattern. Now that locks the 7 to come up 1. The 7 mustn't come here. This has to be the 6. So the 7 must go up again. The 6 must go up twice. 1, 2, 3. This 6 now must come up. Oops, I don't want to put 76 in there. Let's just put 6, 6. Even if the 6 took this square, it would still have to take both of those. So now we've got the straight we were looking for in this hand. We've done some of the 6. We've done all of the 12. I can't unfortunately draw boundaries in this software, so I'm just having to do this a little bit more by visualization. This hand, look. Well, this can't be the full house now. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, that's interesting. So this 8 has to take this square. Now this 10 is getting problematic now. The 10 has to come up. It has to go there because it has to get to here somehow. It has to take that. The 8 is now locked. Takes that as its 8th square. So now this hand is just a pair. Okay, well that's fine. This hand is the full house. It's just been made by what we've just been doing. So we've got the full house. We've got the straight. We've got one of the pairs. We still need 3 of a kind, another pair, and 4 of a kind. And still to complete this 10 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This 6 has got to take another square. This 13 has to get to its friend, so it's got to start coming this way. And it's got to take that square because it's got to come through the gap created between the 11 and the 2. My goodness me. I bet this 10 is forced now, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this 10 has to take the remaining 3 cells to get to 10. It's just gorgeous. Now this 4 has to come up. The 2 has to come up. The 13 has to take that one. The 11 must do that. The 4 must come up again, look. So this is the 3 of the kind. This is the 4 of the kind. So this is a pair over here. And this 13 has now taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't... Oh, it's got to take that now because this 11 has penned it in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2 more to take. Okay. Oh, you're kidding me. Right, hang on a minute. Look, this 7, can it exist in the grid without taking that square? The answer is no, because it can't get to 7 if it just takes those two squares. So this square is a 7. Now look at this square. This is a 7. We know it's not part of this region. Now this 7 could take all 5 of these squares, but that's only 5. So it's going to have to take one of these two squares at least, and that's going to create the pair in this one. So this square can take exactly one of these squares, because it mustn't be better than a pair of 7s. Now that means this can't come here, so having come through the gap it must go there. That fixed the 2 gets fixed. This is beautiful. The 7 goes here. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It still needs another cell. It can't take that one or it'll create a 3 of a kind. So it must take this one. So this 7 is now forced. This 6 must come up here. Now this 7, this 6 could take this square, obviously. I've got to be really careful here, actually. Just trying to think about the options for how this 7 develops. I think it has to take this square, because if it takes this square it can't get out, and it needs to not only get out, it needs to take more squares over here, because it only takes 4 this side. So it has to take that one, it has to come here, and now it can't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it can't take this square, so it has to take that square. So the 11 is now forced to do this. The 13 has 2 more cells to take. It must take those squares. This 4 gets finished. Let me try. Oh, how do I get rid of that? That 4 is now done. The 13 is done unless I've miscounted it. I'm just going to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now that's good. This square can't be a 7. And it can't be a 6. So this square has to be a new number. And I've got to make sure that these two squares are different digits. So I know there's a 1 or a 2. There's either 2 1s missing, or there is a 2 cell region missing. But if I make this a 1, I can make this a 1, but then this square can't be reached by the 6. So this has to be a 2, I think. And that has to be a 2. And this has to be a 6. And that completes this hand here as a single pair, which is what it had to be. It completes the 6 region, which is what it has to be. And there are 3 squares left that are all 7s. And that, I think, is the solution to Freddie's poker philomeno. That was absolutely first class. What a puzzle. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments as usual, and we'll be back tomorrow probably with a RAF Sudoku by Fistamavel. See you later on.